Hello, in this video we're going to show you how to assemble this TV stand. But before we get into it, here's a few reminders. Make sure you have a Phillips head screwdriver, a second person can be helpful, make sure to give yourself enough time for assembly, and just make sure all the pieces are facing the right way. In this video we're going to focus on the trickier parts and go quickly through the easier steps. So just make sure you pause the video and complete all the steps as we go. With that said, let's get into it. In step 1, we have pieces 1 and 6, and we're going to take our piece of wax and run it along the tracks on both of these pieces. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then just make sure to press down lightly so that enough wax gets onto the tracks. Same thing on this piece. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 2, we're going to put cam bolts and dowels into pieces 1 through 6, along with 2 plastic parts onto piece 1. So we'll go ahead and start with these 2 plastic wedges on piece 1. And for this, you just want to make sure that the angled side of the piece is pointing out towards the ends of the piece. So we'll take our screws and secure those. And those line up with the holes here on the edge. Next, we'll put in all of our cam bolts to piece 1. There are 8 of them. Next, we'll move on to piece 6. And on piece 6, we want to be on the side that doesn't have the track on it. So this side. And then we'll put in cam bolts and dowels into this side. Next, we'll put in our dowels, and with our dowels, we're going to put a drop of glue into the hole before we put the dowels in it. Now we can put in all the dowels. Okay, now we can move on to pieces 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have pieces 5 and 4 here, and we're going to put the dowels on the inner holes. And again, we're going to put a drop of glue in the holes as well. We'll flip them over and do the same thing. And then we'll do the same thing with pieces 2 and 3. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 3, we're going to put the handles and hinges onto pieces 13 and 14. So we'll start with the hinges, and on these we just want the part that sticks out on the bottom, a little cup, to go into the hole. And we'll attach that with our screws. Then we'll do the same thing on the other 3 hinges. Next, we'll do the handles, and on these we just want to make sure that the handle sticks out like this on the pieces. Then we'll attach those with our screws. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 4, we're going to attach pieces 8, which are the legs, to piece 7. And for this, we need our bolts. And on these bolts, we're going to put the small washer first and the bigger washer second. Then you can use an included hex wrench for this, but I'm going to use my hex bit on my screwdriver. And then with piece 7, just make sure you have the side with no holes facing up. So we'll go ahead and put these with the holes. Then we'll take our legs and line up the holes here. And we can put in 2 bolts. And we can tighten them the rest of the way and do the other 3 legs. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 5, we'll be attaching pieces 2, 3, 4, and 5 to piece 6. And we'll show you the orientation of the pieces so that you do it properly. So you'll notice on piece 6 that there's a groove here, and that groove lines up with pieces 2 and 3. So when we pick up 2, we want these cam lock holes to be facing up this way, and this groove to line up at the back. And these dowels should fit in like that. And then piece 3 is just the opposite. Groove at the back, cam lock holes on this end, facing inwards like this. And then with pieces 5 and 4, we have the cam lock holes as well. Those are going to be on this end as well, and then facing this other piece so that we have the cam lock holes facing each other. And then same thing on piece 4, cam lock holes facing in towards the other side, And then we're going to put the bolts in through the bottom. So I'm going to take one of my bolts, and then I'm going to tip this slightly, and then we'll put in the bolt to the bottom. Okay, we're done with step 5. We can move on to step 6. So I'm just going to tip this piece up like this, and then grab piece 7. And these holes will line up with the dowels and cam bolts. Woo! I like your fingers. And then once that's down, we can put in all of the cam locks along the inside. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 7, we'll be putting in the back panel. So this just slides into the back groove like this. And we can move on to step 8, which is putting on piece 1 on top. And we just want this groove at the back to line up with the panel. And then we can put on our cam locks on the inside. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 9, you'll put on the stickers to cover the cam locks, but we're going to skip ahead to step 10. And on step 10, we have 2 of our screws U that will go into these 2 holes here. Next, we'll take our plastic wedges, and these will go around the edge of the panel. Okay, we're good to move on. In step 11, we're going to put in the sliding doors. And for this, we just want to insert the handle edge first, and we're going to slide it in this way for that side, and then from this way for this side. So again, handle first, and then the little pegs at the top and bottom will fit into the notches. And then we can slide it, and then just make sure it goes past this part, and then we can slide it all the way around. Just like that, and the same thing on the other side. Just like that, and we're good to move on. In step 12, we're going to attach the doors. We've already gone ahead and done this door, and now we'll go ahead and do this door. So what we'll do is we'll get a screw onto our screwdriver, and then we'll hold up our door to the holes, and then we'll take our screw and put it through the first hole. Then we'll do a second screw on the bottom hinge, and then we can go ahead and finish all of the screws. Once all of those screws are in, we can check to make sure our door is even. If you need help adjusting your hinges, we have a video all about that, but we can move on to the next step and put in our shelves. So we'll take our shelf pegs and put these into the middle holes. You can choose which holes you want. And then we can take one of our smaller shelves, and these can go in and rest on the pegs. Just like that. We can do the middle shelf. And then this shelf is the bigger one. And then we can do the last one. Okay, we're all done. We hope this video was helpful for you in assembling your new TV stand. For more guides, tips, and tricks, go to WECHL21604.com.